Hey guys, Peter here. So I was talking to someone in college and we're discussing about our first jobs. And it got me thinking about my first job, the fears, concerns I had, and the challenges I had. And I was thinking about what I wish I had known at that time. I didn't come from a family where my parents were in the corporate world. They were actually quite blue collar. And so I didn't know how one ought to behave when entering the corporate setting. In fact, the corporate setting, it just felt like a whole new world. It was a brand new world that I had never seen before, never experienced before. It wasn't like my dad ever took me to work in an office because he didn't work in an office. And so starting my first job in the financial services industry, I didn't quite know what to expect. And I wish that I had known a couple of these things when I was starting off. So hopefully if you're in that position and you come from a similar background as me, I'm hoping that these tips help you be successful in the first job, and hopefully this can alleviate concerns that you may or may not have, just beginning your first job. So with that, here we go. My tip number one would be stay calm and don't be afraid. Everyone is more or less just like you. We're all human beings. No one's that much smarter than you, and you're not the dumbest person there. So don't be afraid, just stay calm. The advantages you think other people may have over you because of their upbringing or because of where they went to school or how they were raised, those quickly disappear when you start your job. After a year, after 2 years, after 3 years, those things don't matter anymore. What matters is what you did in your work career, not what school you went to or how you were. And keep in mind that because you're likely in an entry-level position, you're probably not going to be given enough responsibility to mess things up that badly. So hopefully it gives you, it gives you some encouragement, and it gives you, some alleviation of your fears. The second tip I would give is just remember the Wall Street Journal rule, and that rule is whatever you do or whatever you say, if it was put on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, would your parents or your friends be embarrassed of you, or would they lose respect for you if they read it? And I think it's a good rule to keep in mind when it comes to integrity and doing the right thing. Number one is you never know who will learn about it. And number two is always want to hold your integrity intact. I mean, it's easy to cut corners. It's easy to try to skip the line, if you will. But you'll know about it. And sooner or later, it's really going to eat at your conscience. So don't forget the Wall Street Journal rule. I think it's a very important rule to keep in mind. Something that is easy to remember just because it's named after the Wall Street Journal, which is a very popular financial newspaper. Now, the third tip that I have would be, it's okay not to know. You don't have to pretend like you know something you don't know. You most likely have a corporate mentor, someone that is in the company but may not be necessarily in your division, and you have a boss, somebody you directly report to. It's okay to ask them questions. It's okay to say, I don't know this, but I want to learn. Can you tell me how to learn this, or can you tell me the answer to this question I don't know? Humility goes a long way, I think, in every industry. The fourth tip would be friendly and polite. It's okay to smile. I can see that certain people have grown up in neighborhoods or environments where the environment is not so friendly and polite, and you may not be used to smiling. You may be used to being tough, keeping a tough face. But in the corporate world, it's good to be polite, to smile, to learn to small talk. And it's something that leaves a good impression with people. People remember the small things, and you smiling and you just going out of your way to ask them how their weekend was, to be nice to them, to be polite. These are things that while you may not think are super important and they may not relate to doing the work, they're actually really important for helping to build your image. And it just helps to build relationships, because being nice to people, it's not going to hurt you, it'll only help you in the long run. The fifth bit of advice is to listen, observe, and learn. And specifically, listen and observe the specific nuances of the industry that you're in. Because every industry has a different style, a different way of doing things, whether it's financial services, software, industrial, Every industry has a different language, there's different jargon or industry language that's used in the industry. So make sure to pick up on those things, to write them down. The way that people dress, the way that they act, their body language, those things are specific to industries as well. I mean, they're very subtle, but make sure to keep an eye out for those things because you don't want to stand out by not speaking the industry language or by behaving in a way that is counter to industry. So hopefully these 5 tips are helpful to you. I know that they may not be helpful to everyone, but I know certain people may have had the same background as you, and hoping that this helps you be successful in your first corporate job. So take care and bye-bye.